Now this is definitely the most challenging part of the approach, turning with a 5-degree angle towards runway 13, continuing my descent at a 3-degree angle, using ground speed times 5 and using the PAPI as a visual guidance. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're taking on the challenging approach into the iconic Kai Tak Airport, renowned for its spectacular low altitude turn above the buildings of Hong Kong. And we'll be doing all of this in this fantastic Airbus A320 flight simulator by Elite Simulation Solutions. So what are we waiting for? And let's get started. So welcome to the Airbus A320 Elite Flight Simulator, with which Christoph and I flew from the new Hong Kong airport on runway 07 right over to the former Kai Tak Airport onto runway 13. So as you place the thrust levers to flex D10, you read out manual flex 50, SRS runway, auto thrust blue, and we then initially climb to 2,000 feet after departing on runway 07 right. Gear up. Up. Flight director's off. Off. After the acceleration height, I set the thrust levers to climb the tent, retracted the flaps, and leveled off at the pre-assigned 2,000 feet, which gave us some stunning views over Hong Kong. 200. It's a really short flight. I'm actually just realizing it now. It's only 7 minutes.
Shortest flight in the world.
Yeah, okay, set the heading of 088.
Heading 088.
The heading 088 was the former ILS inbound course to the checkerboard, and we already had to extend the flaps again to reduce the speed and start our descent.
0. Thrust off.
Yes, that was the master caution because I had just turned off the auto thrust. Flaps 2.
Check. Flaps 2.
Speed 160.
Speed 160.
Slowly going to shallow descent, 500 feet, which is fine. At this moment, I was so immersed from the great visual and authenticity of the sim, making it very real. So from this point, I continued visually to the checkerboard with the goal of completing my shallow descent at 660 feet, half a mile before the checkerboard. And gear down. Yep, gear down to bring down the speed even more. And again, so great that the audio matches like in a real aircraft. And speaking of the realism of the aircraft, let me briefly thank today's sponsor. All around what you see here is Elite Simulation Solutions here in Zurich, Switzerland. They have been developing certified flight simulators, both fixed wing and rotary, for over 35 years, supporting professional training and private users. Right now, I'm sitting in an A320 simulator designed for FAA and EASA approved training, including FMPT2, MCC APS certification, but also available for the demanding home users. It offers a fully immersive airline training experience, but what makes it most unique is it uses original Airbus parts like the side stick and seats, switches, etc., making it feel as close as possible to the real aircraft. Now, being surrounded by so many simulators, I couldn't resist testing my piloting skills in some of them. I started with the glass cockpit trainer. Honestly, it's a perfect setup for your home, super intuitive, compact and immersive, definitely adding this to my wish list. Next was a DA40, DA42 open cockpit version, a twin engine trainer. I loved how hands-on it felt, and I immediately got the urge to fly GA again. I was having so much fun, I ended up staying in it for over an hour. And at the end, I've tried the one with the curved projection, where the visuals were absolutely next level. At one point, I completely forgot I sat in a simulator. The visuals, the sounds, and even the lighting, it felt incredibly real. And another game changer is the dynamic control loading, ensuring extremely realistic flying experience. It's great if you have an amazing visual and glass cockpit, but if the flight controls don't feel like the actual aircraft, what's the point? So I'm curious, which one would you want to fly the most? Let us know in the comments below. After spending time in these simulators, one thing is clear: Elite takes flight training as close to reality as it gets, without ever leaving the ground. If you want to learn more about the company, click the link in the description box below. Yeah, that's the outer marker. Okay. Yes, the tension was definitely rising now as we got closer and closer to the skyscrapers and closing in on the checkerboard. Flaps 3. It's looking good now, yeah. Flaps full, speed 145.
Flaps full, speed 145.
Okay, the checkerboard inside, runway inside. I have 3 whites, 1 red. So landing checklist, water brake medium, please. Yeah.
Medium.
Okay, 1 dot high. I see the leading in lights.
We're aiming for 600 feet.
Yeah. Landing checklist, landing no blue, and we assumed that we were given the landing clearance. Now this is definitely the most challenging part of the approach, turning with a 5-degree angle towards runway 13, continuing my descent at a 3-degree angle, using ground speed times 5 and using the PAPI as a visual guidance. There we are. Here you can nicely see how my eyes switch back and forth from the inside to the outside and back. There it is. On the Airbus, always use small inputs rather than unnecessary large ones.
30, 20, retard. 10.
Yes, I flared a little bit too early, as I'm now more familiar landing the 747 than the Airbus A320, so I did float her a little bit, so don't judge me. It was within the touchdown zone. And that was a great landing at the former Kai Tak airport. What an absolute pleasure that was. Sadly, only a few simulators around the world have the visual scenario for Kai Tak left in their database. Alright, let's set the parking brake.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Good job.
Christoph, thank you very much. This is good fun. Wow, this is cool. This is actually the best of all. I really enjoyed this one. Okay, fantastic. Good. So we've successfully landed at Kai Tak with the help of this exceptional Airbus A320 simulator by Elite Simulation Solutions. I have to admit, it really felt like being back in the Airbus A320 again. The realism of this simulator is close to as it possibly gets to the real aircraft. This will give your flight school the training equipment you want to provide, and your flight students will highly appreciate it. If you're interested in learning more about the Elite's innovative simulators, click the link in the description box below. So therefore, a special thank you to Elite for making today's video possible. And on that bombshell, here is your checklist today. Subscribe to my channel, check. Activate the notification bell, check. Follow my Instagram account, check. Join our supportive Patreon community, check. And don't forget, a good pilot is always learning, especially when training on an Elite device. Wishing you all the best, your Captain Joe.